Hi guys, Jennifer here from ATraceofSparkle, and I want to share with you my design team project for OohLaLa Vintage Treasures. I created this project using the Attic Treasures Memories kit, and I want to show you what I put together. It was to alter like this picture frame. It was a vintage picture frame, and it was a trifold. Well, I decided to make it like a little envelope journal, and I want to show you what I put together. I posted this on the OohLaLa page a while back, that I made these like crazy quilt or Franken pages, and I was inspired by Nick the Booksmith and Gail Gostinelli, I think you say her name. Anyway, I took all the elements that Doreen included, which was the paper, this beautiful fabric, some Tim Holtz fabric, this really pretty fabric she also included, and I incorporated it, oh, and this fabric as well. So what I did, book pages, I took them and I cut them into different size pieces. So it was very easy. I didn't have any idea in mind for how I wanted to lay this out before I did any cutting. I just simply started cutting into rectangles, squares, longer, narrow elements, and then book pages. So I started on coffee paper, and you can see my stitching on here. So I very lightly glued the center part of each of the fabrics and kind of layered them in this kind of haphazard pattern. I didn't really have an idea of how I wanted it to look. I just took the shapes and then I kind of tried to alter where I put the paper. She included this Stamperia old lace papers and book pages and all this beautiful fabrics. And I made what kind of looks like a collage of fabrics and papers. There is a tutorial, I will leave the link below, that explains how to create this, but I started off with an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and then I started putting it together like puzzle pieces. And when I figured out where I want it, I very gently lifted the article and then I put a little bit of glue in the center so that when I went to sew it, I didn't lose my positioning and I didn't have to use needles to put through the paper. What I did was I used that to cover this envelope. Now, I call it an envelope. It was a trifold type thing. You could have made a mini album, all kinds of things, but I used it on the front and the back, and I cut it to fit how I wanted it. Up here, I used a piece this big. So you can see what I did was I covered this envelope. It's very thick, sturdy, almost like a clipboard type thing, and that's kind of where I went with this. I used this Stamperia papers, and I covered this part here. And then I used the Franken page to cover this part. You can see all around here, and I actually glued this to this, and then I cut it off around where I had extra. And then I added this pretty corset that she included in the kit, and then I have 2 tags here and some coffee dyed paper in the back to journal on. I didn't even show you the lid here or the flap. So this is a really pretty dangle. She included this in the Attic Treasures kit and all of these elements that I layered. And then I added some of my own sparkle. Okay, and inside here I have a little journal that I can write on. And I wasn't sure how I was going to do this, but I made it so that I could actually tuck this in. And I left this as flat as possible so that I can write. And I have some really pretty tea-dyed paper that I used the vinyl placemats on. And I attached a bunch of these together so that I could take notes. I'm a list taker, a note maker. I think of so many different ideas. I gotta jot it down or I won't remember. And then I use some of this paper. It's like a really thick craft cardstock that would be sturdy enough to, you know, fit down in this pocket. So this was open and I glued the sides here. So I thought that was really cute. You can sit there and you can write your notes, and then you can carry it in here if you want to. Hide it away. Okay. And it kind of dangles like that. Really pretty. And then on the back, I made a pocket with the Franken page. So I took another piece and then I glued the sides here and I cut off the extra. And I have this little pretty piece of doily crocheted, and then this little piece of tatted doily here, and a bulb pin and some dangles on that. In here in my pocket I have other places to journal. So I have this really cute guest check. She included 3 guest checks in the kit, and so I altered a bunch. I have another video coming that I will show you what I did for the rest of them, but I wanted to show you this one. I made it into a little pocket tag, and Trisha Vermontes, she inspired me to make this little guest check like a tag, and it's got a little pocket in there. And then I just added this little doily, some OohLaLa rhinestone, and a bulb pin with a little button. And I used some of the old lace paper and a edge punch to make the little pocket here. So I used some of the lace from Doreen's kit, as well as this little piece here. It's so cute. I made it into like a little bow, and I added some tea-dyed cheesecloth to the top here to make a little tag. I used some stamping on here, and you can see the little button stamping here, and on the back there's another stamp here. I sewed around it, and you can journal on the back of this. Here I altered a little envelope, so I have it's tea-dyed with the doily at the top here. You can see it coming over here. I made these little buttons from a Pinterest inspiration. These little button embellishments. So I have some lace here on the edge and some more lace here. And then inside I just put some coffee dyed paper to journal on. And you can tuck it away and keep it hidden. And what's nice is that, you know, you can add more paper, and when you're done with it, you know, it's not permanent. Okay. And then I also have this tea-dyed envelope. I just thought this was so cool, the way the tea dyed on here. Really cool. And this was just an old envelope that I got in the mail. Instead of throwing it away, I repurposed it. So I added this little flower here from Doreen's kit. It's from the Stamperia old lace, and I added another one of these embellishments here, and then some trim from another kit, and then some tea-dyed trim that I had in my stash. And you can write whatever you want in there. Kind of covered inside with some tea-dyed paper to kind of hide the writing that was in there. So you can tuck little things in there, notes or whatever. And the nice thing about the back here, if you didn't want to write on the front, I left it flat enough where you could also put this back here, put it in the pocket, and do your little notes there as well. So yeah, I think it turned out really cute. I have all of these little embellishments and little items that you can use to journal on. So I hope that you enjoyed it, and I have plenty more to create. So I have a few more videos coming up with stuff from this kit, hopefully, and working on some of these guest checks and stuff like that that I want to show you. So I will be back with that. And thanks so much for watching. I will leave all the information below to Doreen's exhibit store and the Facebook group for inspiration. And I will talk to you guys really soon. Bye-bye for now.